What's shaking, guys? I'm Xavier Ely, and right now, right this second, we're going to talk about my experience with the EOS R, and let's get into it. So, 4 months ago in January, I picked up the EOS R. I switched from the Sony a7 III, and I want to just talk about a few reasons why. And I know everybody's done this review of the EOS R. That's not what I'm here to do today. Just kind of want to talk about my experience and just why I switched back to Canon. My first reason for switching back to Canon and picking up the EOS R, it's what I'm used to. I love Canon, I love the Canon colors, and it's just what I started shooting with. It's what I feel comfortable shooting with, and it's just been amazing over the years. I started with the Rebel T6i, and that was a great camera, and as I shot more things, I got used to it, did more projects, I upgraded my camera to an 80D, and the 80D was amazing. I shot cinematic things with no slow-mo whatsoever, and I thought, well, what could I do with slow-mo? And you know, everybody watches Peter McKinnon and Matty Hippolyta, and I thought, man, if they could do that, I could do that too with slow-mo. So I sold my T6i to my best friend and my Canon 80D to a local camera store here where I live, and I picked up the Sony a7 III. And the Sony a7 III had 4K and, you know, 120p. Great camera, everybody knows it. When they announced the 1DX Mark III, I told myself, well, when that comes out, I'm switching back to Canon instantly. I knew what I wanted, that 1DX Mark III with that slow-mo 120 frames per second. I just wanted buttery B-roll. I just knew it was my chance to just take my projects and my YouTube videos to the next level. I just envisioned myself just running around, grabbing this crazy cinematic B-roll, just hanging off of the side of buildings and all kinds of stuff. And I know that just doesn't sound realistic. You kind of just put yourself up here, you're thinking about it like this, when really it's kind of here. I just knew I was going to pick up the 1DX Mark III. So as time came closer to pick that up, Canon started, well, I don't know if it was Canon or whoever, but rumors started leaking that something to the equivalent of the 5D Mark IV was coming out, but a mirrorless version. And a few specs leaked. I knew it was supposedly gonna have 4K uncropped. That was really the only thing that really kind of caught my eye. And I saw people talking about the EOS R. So if it's something equivalent to the 1DX Mark III coming out, why even spend $6,500 on the body alone when I could just pick up the EOS R and get ready for the next camera that's coming out, and I wouldn't have to switch all my lenses, because you know the 1DX uses EF lenses and the EOS R, and the next camera that's coming out uses the RF lenses. Even though the EOS R has some limits and it's not spec'd out like the a7 III was at the time, I still go pick it up and just get back into the Canon ecosystem. That brings me to my second point. I knew the Canon R5 was coming out, so it just made so much more sense to go ahead and spend the $6,500 on the body and the two lenses and a couple of ND filters instead of spending $10,000 on the 1DX Mark III and the two EF lenses I would have got. I would have spent like $10,400 and some change. And it just didn't seem financially sound, so, you know, didn't do that. Yeah. So the second point, like I said, Canon EOS R5, and we now know it's spec'd out. Canon threw the sync, as everyone's saying, at this camera. It has 8K RAW, all 8K modes are uncropped, and hopefully it has the sound and everything, because that would suck. Not saying that my computer can edit 8K, I have no clue, never tried it. It does pretty fine with 4K, but that's 4K, and that's just pretty fine. It used to buffer, but now all of a sudden it doesn't, now that I got this monitor, because I just record straight to ProRes. Like I said, 8K RAW, 4K uncropped 120. Yes, please, thank you. And just the RF glass, dude, like you can't beat that. Canon, I guess they got tired of people joking around and just kind of counting them out. Like they did with the Canon 5D Mark II, they're just trying to revolutionize the game again, and it's looking like that's the case with the R5, and I'm looking forward to it. If it's 3,500 or 4,000, look, Canon, sign me up. I'm gonna be in line waiting for one, no doubt. My third and final reason for picking the EOS R up, man, this RF glass. This is the Canon 70-200 2.8L. This is a crazy lens. And I say that because it's part of the holy trinity of lenses. And if you don't know about that, I'm probably gonna make a video about that later. I have 2 of the 3 lenses so far, and I plan on getting the 3rd lens. I might wait until I get the 3rd lens. I might not, who knows. Drop a comment and tell me if you want that video before or after I get that. As of right now, shooting this video, I don't have the 3rd lens to the holy trinity of lenses, but that's cool. That's coming soon. Like I said, RF glass, it'll probably be some B-roll around here or around this point talking about that lens. But yeah, the RF glass, man, it's pretty crazy. The RF glass is just really, really well put together. It's a lot of glass, they're heavy lenses, but they're image stabilized lenses. And as we all know, the EOS R and every Canon camera before this hasn't had IBIS. So that image stabilized lens is very important to the B-roll that I shoot, because I have unsteady hands and I don't want to use a gimbal all the time. They're big and bulky and I just don't want to use it. So the stabilized lens really helps me out when I'm shooting B-roll, because I shoot a lot of B-roll handheld. So the fact that all of those lenses are stabilized and the EOS R5 is going to be stabilized itself, the body's going to have IBIS, they're shaping up to be like the best system for stabilization here in the very near future. So I'm looking forward to that. But just in general, the RF glass is fast, and the 70-200 and the 15-35 and the 24-70 are all 2.8 aperture lenses. So they're very fast lenses. They're not low light lenses, but they cover a wide variety of focal lengths, and you can get the stills, you can get the B-rolls, you can get the portraits, you can get whatever you need with those 3 lenses. So that's the 3 reasons why I wanted to switch back to the EOS R. It's a great camera and I'm still getting used to it. I'm happy that I switched back and I'm ready for the R5. And I just really feel like that's gonna be the best camera of 2020. And I might be a little biased, but who isn't? Leave a comment. Are you ready for the R5? Did you pick up an EOS R? Just let me know. And if you didn't pick up the EOS R, will you pick up the R5? Yeah. So if you like this video, you should definitely pound that like button and definitely subscribe if that's your thing. There's more content coming soon. And yeah, those are my reasons, guys. Peace. The lens, but it'll probably be some B-roll around here talking about that lens. What the f is that? Whatever. It'll probably be some B-roll around here or around this point talking about that lens.